Potbelly has shops from coast to coast, right? Shops in Portland and Seattle, shops in Boston and New York, as far north as Minneapolis, as far south, as San Antonio and pushing into Florida. So it's hard sometimes for a brand that sometimes has regional roots to really expand outward. Lots of fits and starts. I mean, even Dunkin', spent a lot of time in the Northeast before it eventually got momentum and moved west. That's one of the huge advantages of Potbelly is, we're in 12 plus airports. People know Potbelly, and that's where the big opportunity is for us, is to really expand this brand. This is a brand that wasn't likely to raise a lot of capital to go build their own shops. And so the pivot point was to say, look, let's flip this business model and make it a franchise model, right? This is the way that we're going to create shareholder value, is to really have an asset-light, capital-light way of growing. Bob has deep franchise experience. I have it in my background with McDonald's and Panera. And so a bit of a challenging pivot for a business model, but nevertheless, I'd seen how it works. Bob had seen how it works, and having my strategy background to help define it, to help model it, to help our board understand it, to help our investors understand it, and then help activate it was really the task. And really, we're still within that sort of making that change happen, and it's working quite well so far. To me, it's the intersection of finance and strategy, right? It allows you to take a look at all the opportunities that you're faced with, or the challenges that you're faced with, and if using your best efforts, try to understand, okay, what is this going to do for our business, and what kind of returns is it going to provide for our investment? You stack that up against your cost of capital, and if it's value accretive, the decisions then become easy. But unless you introduce this idea of return on invested capital, it becomes really hard to prioritize, because then it becomes someone's, there might be a popular project or an exciting project, but ultimately it might not actually create value. It's a great way and I'm teaching our management team to think that way. We just had a week-long strategic offsite last week where I continue to kind of use this as a shorthand for how we're going to build the business going forward. So
this podcast is made possible by Ledge.